Welcome to Cigar City Radio, Episode 8. I'm your host, Randy Ojeda, and making the magic happen is Jason Solanas.
You know, Randy, one of these days I'm going to...
Oh, God. Why? Why would you do that?
Texture.
All right. If you love this show, and we hope that you do, we hope that you subscribe to the show on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening. You can also follow us on social media at Cigar City Radio, and you can email us at cigarcityradio@gmail.com. We are, as they say, accessible. For this episode, we found ourselves at the headquarters of Poster, a band from both Tampa and Lakeland, but definitely not from St. Pete or Orlando. And what I liked about these guys, who were Stratton and Tim from Poster, is that they're like real music fans. I think you got that impression too.
Real music fans, and what we had conversations about after the whole interview was metal, which was totally unexpected for me.
Yeah, because they're not a metal band, as you'll tell from listening to their music, but they had an in-depth I would say it was definitely an argument. It was beyond a debate.
Yeah, they were almost screaming at each other.
Yeah, about which bands were more metal than other bands, and they were using interior album art and other bits of evidence to make their claim. It was actually like, I feel like we should just have a show where it's just them arguing about metal.
I think it would be so explicit I couldn't even bleep that.
Yeah, that'd be too many bleeps. They're really cool guys, and one of the things I dug too is they talked a lot about how they get their music recommendations from the community and other people at the record stores and places around town. And in a world where everybody gets their music recommendations from an algorithm, that's really cool to see that sort of legacy of hey, check out this band because you bought this record is still a thing.
Yeah, and they really take grassroots to the next level. However, I do want to say this. If they do make posters again, even if it just says Poster, please buy one.
Yeah. Then we talk a little bit about posters.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So check them out online. They are difficult to find. It seems like the best way to find them is Poster 90210. So look for them online. We'll link to them on our social medias, so you can find them there. Their new album is Elias is a Nice Guy, and it's available now on Viridian Sounds. So here it is, Episode 8. Is this where the magic happens? Right here?
Yes.
How much magic happens on this table?
A lot.
Yeah.
Mainly barbecue.
Yeah. Well, no, I see, you got amps set up everywhere. You got a crazy monitor set up over there,
We split practice here in Lakeland.
Oh.
Danny, our other guitar player, he lives at his parents' house, and they have this pool house. It's like a legendary pool house because his old band used to practice there all the time. And so since him and Connor live in Lakeland, we try to split it so that not one of them is having to drive, every single practice.
So half the band is in Lakeland then?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Connor and Danny live in Lakeland.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you guys are like a long-distance band.
Yeah, we've had a lot of different people say we're from a lot of different places. We've gotten Tampa, we've gotten St. Pete, we've gotten Lakeland, and we've gotten Orlando. I'm not really sure how anyone thought we were from Orlando, but
yeah, that's interesting. I feel like just earlier today we actually referred to you as a band from St. Pete. So.
Yeah, we live all over the place, so
Definitely not St. Pete though.
No, but not St. Pete.
Yeah.
I feel like Stratton's loving the attention right now.
Yeah, I like this.
Stratton
this
loves
cool.
attention.
I love
Yeah,
attention,
it seems
dude.
like it.
So I'm always ripping solos and all that on stage, dude.
And your sound doesn't seem like it's the ripping solos kind of sound.
No, not really. No, not a lot of solos. I don't think we've ever done a solo.
Really?
Ever.
No, Eddie Van Halen style.
No, to be honest, recently I've actually gotten into a lot of shreddy music thanks to Kenny at Steelworker Records.
Okay.
But I can't do it. so it will never make an appearance in Poster.
Do you guys consider yourselves a shoegaze band?
There are
Not
elements of
really.
shoegaze.
Not really.
Just like maybe like certain elements of shoegaze, but not like a shoegaze band, you know?
Yeah.
We like reverb. We like delay.
Yeah.
You like effects?
Yeah, we like effects, but we don't. I think it's more than anything, it's probably the reverb vocals that make people think of that.
Mhm.
It's like dreamy sounding, but we don't. I don't know. When I think of shoegaze, I think of like the greats, like My Bloody Valentine, Ride, and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I don't think we sound that much like them, but maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like fitting bands into a mold like that either. But that's kind of the vibe it gives me, is like a post rock, but with actual songs, you know, because post rock they just kind of go and go and go, you know.
Tim and I were talking about this the other night. How like most current post rock is pretty boring. Like
Yeah.
I like ambient music a lot, but post rock's like trying to hit a crescendo, but it never actually gets there. It just kind of like
Yeah.
meanders on forever
Yeah.
without doing
Where's the
anything.
drop, man?
Yeah,
Where's the
if there's no drop, is there really a point to it?
yeah. What's the point?
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's why nobody listens to post rock, I guess.
I
'Cause, you
guess
know.
so.
Or Poster.
Or poster. Yeah, we don't. There's no drops. That's what we've been doing wrong.
So poster, I was gonna ask you that. How did you come up with the band name? Were you just like, let's just flip through a dictionary and we'll stop at a word and we'll go with poster?
The name is pretty old. Like Connor and I used to play in a band called Fictional Friends that existed recently, an entirely new lineup. But back when we were in high school, we played in it, and he didn't like the name. The guy who was like in charge of it, and Connor was like, "What about poster?"
Yeah.
He was like, "I don't really like that." And then Connor, a few months later, started doing his own demos under the name, and I helped him make a song. And he was like, "We should just do this together."
just call
And
it
we just never changed the name.
just
It
went
was,
with it.
I don't think he has anything like meaning behind it. I think it's just we planned on changing it. I know that, and we just never did.
Yeah. Well, why bother? You know, why change?
It's a lot of people have nagged us and been like, it's impossible to find anything on the internet. It is hard.
ungoogleable.
It
I
is
would
very
say.
hard.
It's
Yeah,
hard to Google.
like Poster Band.
Yeah.
Poster Band Tampa doesn't even really work. Or
Yeah.
like Lakeland. It wasn't intentional. We weren't trying to be.
And do you feel like people get confused when they see poster on a poster? Like, are they just? Is this
That
an
was
announcement
like
of the poster?
we had
or-
so many friends being like, we need a poster. We made posters, and nobody wanted them. We were just like giving them away to people. We were like, we don't even need money.
Still have any posters?
I think they're all gone now.
I feel like it'd have to be very minimal, like just a sign that says like just poster.
Well, we didn't even make it. Our friend Anthony Martina made it
Oh.
for us, and he was just like, "Hey, I made 20 of these. Here's it's on your way here. This is how much it costs." And we were like, "Okay." And then
and nobody wanted them.
on tour we sold a few,
Yeah.
and then when we got back home, people were allowed to talk. And they get there, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to buy this?" And they're like, "No, not really."
You have a new record out. Is it today that it comes out?
Yeah, today's the official
The
release
official
date.
release date.
We've been actually selling it at shows a little bit,
Oh,
but
you
I don't
broke
thi-
the sacred release date.
I don't think anyone really knew what we were saying because we would just say it in passing on the mic, like, "Hey, we have our new album on CD here,"
Yeah.
and then like someone would come and be like, "Did you say like a new album? You have an album on CD?" And we're like, "Yeah." Like, "Oh, when did this come out?" I'm like, "Oh, it's not out yet.
Yeah.
We just need money before we go on tour, basically." So we did, but we were like, we probably shouldn't say it's out because it's not really out yet.
Yeah.
So
But it's out now, and the record is it Elias or Elias?
Elias.
Elias, that
Yeah.
of course. Elias is a nice guy,
Yeah.
and Elias is he's a member of the band too.
Yeah, he's the drummer. He's the guy on the
Ah.
cover.
and is he actually a nice guy?
No, not at all.
So that's
Anyone that knows us knows I hate Elias. I don't know about Tim, but
So what's he doing on the cover?
Yeah, why'd you put him on the cover?
it's a great. I mean, if you can't see the picture that well, unfortunately, but he's trying to hit a ping pong ball,
Like totally missed.
and he's missing by like a couple feet. And his friend wrote on the Polaroid, "Trying my best," but I think it got rubbed off by the time we took the picture.
Yeah, I think poor hand-eye coordination seems like a good trait for a drummer.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, no, that's exactly. So, yeah, the name is really just a joke more than anything. Because me and him,
You have a
we
feud.
talk a lot of trash.
Ah,
We've got a pretty famous trash talking feud going. It's
Oh.
been going for a while.
yeah, you got
World
beef.
famous.
Ah.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna split up like at the drive-in style and go separate ways and
My plan is to wait until we get any kind of break at all, and then kick him out. Right when he feels like he's made it, kick him out.
Right, yeah, right when you've finally
Like
hit the crest.
when he's talking to me, he's like, dude, I really feel like we're in a good spot. Be like, oh, that's good to hear. You're out of the band. You know? That's just
I was thinking you guys are like the kindest people I've ever met.
I
Yeah.
am, dude. As long as it's not Elias. If it's Elias,
No, that's all right. Everyone's got their nemesis. I just
yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's the Mandark to me. I'm the Dexter. He's the Mandark. You know? We
yeah.
can't work together. It's impossible.
But yet you're in this band
Yeah,
together.
and yet we
And
we
you're
make it work.
spending what 14 hours this weekend together?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, with that grueling practice grind you guys have.
Yeah, that's a lot of practice. A lot. Well, it wouldn't be that bad if it was spaced out, but it's all in like 3 days in a row. in
Rough.
big chunks, like 6 or 7 hours sometimes, and then one day we practice for a little bit, and then the next day it's not as bad.
Oh, that's cool. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back to the record. So, hold on one more time. Elias.
Elias. yeah.
Elias is a nice guy because there's a lot of ways you can say that.
Yeah, I mean, I
can say dumb
encourage
dumb.
people to say his name
You
wrong.
can say stupid head.
Yeah, so we should pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, that would be
Elias.
preferred,
Yeah, there
really.
you go. And would that bother him in particular?
I hope so. One can dream. I don't know.
That out there, everybody's just saying the name wrong. You didn't even let him come on the podcast, and he's
Yeah,
just
if there were
"Oh,
a lot of
man."
people walking up to him being like, "Oh, you're Elias," that would be great
Fantastic.
for me. Yeah.
Oh well, you heard it here.
yeah.
You know,
Call him Elias. That would be great.
that would be great.
yeah.
And the album came out on was it Viridian Sounds?
Yeah, Viridian Sound. It started out as a tape label. I don't really know what for this release. I was like, I want to keep it to someone that I can trust will like
Yeah.
let us do what we want with it. Because we had never put anything like that together. So I was like, I want to be able to like control the like album art and what when it's put out.
Elias on there.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think probably a lot of other people would have tried to get us to change the name. Like at first he was like, "Is this really the name of it?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's the name of it." And he was just like, "Okay," but he's been super cool about it.
Yeah.
the whole process.
That's awesome. And it's I think it's good too that like you said, there are not a lot of bands around here that sound like you. You know, so I feel like you end up getting to play a lot of shows that, you know, like you open. I always see whenever there's a band that does kind of sound like you guys are in your wheelhouse, I'm like, Poster's opening for this band. I just moved back here a couple months ago, and then all of a sudden I started seeing the name over and over again on posters, and I was like, okay, who's Poster? You know, what is this poster? What is a poster? Yeah, I started thinking about posters in a more existential way, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
and
good.
it led me to
That's important.
find your band. That's how it worked.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't think about people finding out about us that way, but I guess that must be the case.
Well, you're playing a lot of shows. That's how people find out.
yeah,
about you,
we
you know?
played a lot for a long time.
Yeah, I'm looking. There's actually a board up here.
of all the shows.
Oh, you don't want to read that.
Oh no, I'm not gonna read the board.
There's a lot of things.
Oh yeah. There's some interesting things on the board. but you have several shows crossed out. Some shows at the Bend, some shows at Mojo. Now, Tim, you work at Mojo,
Yeah.
which is like, I mean, that's the job that probably like 80% of listeners are like, man, I wish I had that job. You work at a record store.
A lot of people come in and try and apply like
Yeah?
every day. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Is it like high fidelity-esque? Like, do you have a, you know, are you making
you
top
know-
10 lists all day?
I mean, like if you're talking about like the mix, like what we play through the PA.
Yeah, is that like a coveted thing?
I mean, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you get to pick when people come in, and then they'll be like, "Do you have this like on record or CD?"
That's powerful right there.
Yeah.
You know? But you have a lot of tapes there, I've noticed. Like
Yeah, there's a lot of
cassettes.
tapes, too.
Our cassettes are making a return, man. Like that's
Oh yeah, totally. Especially with certain subgenres, they like really seem to only do like limited runs of tapes and like nothing else, no record, or maybe 7 inches. But yeah, it's a lot of that, especially with like heavier music. But we like redid the tape thing recently, and so like we made it like really nice, like nice display. You know, you got like the big titles up there. They probably got like Molly Hatchet or like Frank Zappa or something. I don't know.
okay. Sweet.
You guys have a
A lot of old people look at it.
you have a Loverboy tape, but you don't have the one that has Everybody's Working for the Weekend,
oh,
which is really
it's
disappointing.
like
for me.
yeah, like what's even the point?
Yeah, like I was like, who cares about any other Loverboy album?
yeah. Did
Other
they?
than
Why
that
did they
one.
even make other Loverboy albums?
Yeah, I
Like,
didn't know that they did, but I don't want to listen to it. I only want to listen to that one. But
Yeah.
you guys do have some other sick tapes, though.
Yeah, there was this band. What were they called? it was something really heavy and it was sick.
They have a bunch of Metallica tapes. I know that.
Yeah.
You're into that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, Mojo's one of the only record stores I know that like has a really good metal section, which I think is key for a record store. You know?
Yeah.
Like you got to have metal. I think actually I was looking. There's a record by Possessed that was like $50.
Because there was a Thou record I wanted to get there, but it was like $50 because it was some limited first pressing.
But yeah, but working there, like you're kind of on the fringe of a lot of the cool stuff that's going on in this area. You know, like the merchandise release show that happened.
that
a
was
couple weeks
super
ago.
cool.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
read that, right?
Yeah, I was definitely that was really cool. That was a really well attended show too for being like the preview night or whatever up there, like big show at Crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. A lot of like the local like promoters and like ticket sellers and whatever, they're always coming into like try and flyer, and you know a lot of those people have like good local like little communities and stuff. So you know other store owners might come in and hang out too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a cool place to work.
Yeah, that's definitely really cool. I really enjoyed it. I was a lifeguard before that, and I did that for like 6 or 7 years, and it just got like really like old staring at water all day.
I can imagine. That seems like the most boring job ever.
It's just really depressing.
But now you get to stare at records and coffee all day.
I'm not waiting for people to die anymore. I'm waiting for people to like find new bands,
But,
like
yeah.
nerd out about that. No, you're like trained for something you like rarely get to use. You're mainly just like a butt warmer, not butt warmer, seat warmer.
You're personally
Butt warming's
warming
dope,
butts.
but yeah,
Yeah,
my butt got warm.
I'm sure.
Then you get in the water, then it's cold. So
Stuff.
You guys, I think, are the tamest people that we've had on the podcast.
You guys are so chill. It
Yeah.
it matches your music in a way.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we're not ragers really. Tim's in a power violence band, so Tim can rage too.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I also see that Philly is written. Like, are you playing at a place called Philly that I've just never heard of, or are you actually going to Philly?
No, we're going to Philly.
Oh.
Yeah, like we're leaving on tour the 10th. It's not really a tour as much as it is we're going to Philadelphia to record.
Okay,
So we're playing shows on the way there and on the way back.
that's a tour, man.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. It's more like let's offset the cost of gas,
Right.
and play some places where we know some people.
That's exactly a tour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess that's
that's-
true.
Gonna play a bunch of places and let's just try to pay for some gas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically. And
Maybe sell a couple records on the way.
I'm trying to keep some CDs and tapes for tour, but
But they're
as
just
I
moving
assumed
so
would
quick.
happen, they're not really moving fast. It's just I have a ton of friends being like, "Save me one." Who
Yeah.
I know some of them will pay. So if you guys have told me that, I'm not saying you won't pay, but some of my friends, I'm skeptical that they will pay, and I'm like, I don't really want to save a tape for you
Yeah, they
So-
should pay.
because we
Friends, pay. Okay,
Pay, or-
I know
or-
you're listening to this right now.
or
If you
buy
took
it
the
from
time-
Viridian.
Yeah, buy it.
Yeah, because Viridian, all the Viridian ones is going to charity, so all the money from that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. So that seems to be a theme here. Is this you made these posters, the posters, and your friends were like, nah, we're not going to pay for this. And it's like now you're making tapes and CDs, and your friends are like, nah, we're not going to pay for this. So, but I feel like that's kind of the deal when you're in a band is like you always have your friends who are like, yeah, I'll be at the show, man. I'll be there. I'll be
Yeah.
there, and then they're never there.
Our friends are pretty good about going to shows, I'll say. I'd say
Yeah.
most of our friends, when they say they're going to go, they show up. But, I mean, to be fair, in their defense, we've done a lot of merch that's not really merch. It's like CDRs we're giving to people for free.
Okay,
So maybe
yeah.
they've gotten used to us just handing them stuff for free, and now they're
Yeah.
like, wait, am I supposed to pay for this now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this is like an actual
Well, that's I
CD.
mean that's the issue that the entire music industry is facing. You know, since everything's on Spotify now, you can't
Right.
ask people to be like, well, now I want you to pay the same amount for just one thing. You know?
Right. It's more a novelty than anything. That's why tapes do so well. Is like a tape looks cool sitting on your like desk or whatever in a
Yeah.
collection. So if you don't listen to it, it doesn't matter because it's free on Bandcamp. You can just download it and throw it on your phone.
Yeah.
But it looks cool or whatever, and they're cheap.
Right.
So we made CDs specifically because we know a lot of people don't have tape players.
Mm-hmm.
But in retrospect, we probably would have been fine with just tapes because I think probably most of those people are just going to listen to the downloaded version that they'll get for free and then just keep it and be like, oh, I have this.
Yeah, it's a souvenir. you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it depends. Like, if you're buying an album that you like grew up with, you've already listened to 100 times, you just want to have it, you
Yeah.
know, or like support the artist or whatever. Then there's other people that like, I mean, like we buy a lot of records. I know we listen to them like as soon as we get them, because you're like excited about it or whatever. Especially if it's
Yeah.
like a new band, you know, you've just like been recently getting into. It just seems like a lot of people going to record stores like will get turned on to a band and then show up and then like buy like all their shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just kind of like eat it up for a while and then move on to the next thing. But
I mean, yeah, it depends too on like you said, if you're going there to buy something you know you've already heard a bunch of times, but you want it for your collection, you're probably not listening to it much. But like
Yeah.
when I go to Steelworker now, because Kenny's like such a cool dude, I'll just be like, Kenny, I've been getting into this kind of thing, and I'll be like, what is cool? And he'll just go out there and he'll be like, you need to buy this, and like this record is super sick. And then I'm like, okay, and then I put them in, and I'm like, this is sick. And
Yeah.
he's right. So like,
Yeah.
it kind of depends on how like what you're doing with it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know for me, like I'm guilty of that. Like I buy a lot of records, but I usually listen to my music through something like Spotify, you know. But I like having the records to support, you know, the acts. Like
Right.
I think I just bought like the new Paul Simon record, the one that came out this year. I haven't opened it, but I've listened to it like 50 times on Spotify. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
there's also a lot of like Mojo gets like a lot of people every day, like, you know, selling and trading stuff. And like, it seems like there's a lot of more collectors out there than like what I would have thought initially, because like there's a lot more like value, you know, invested into that. And people, it's kind of like people that buy like the new Jordans or whatever, like they do it sometimes just for like the value of what it could be later.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well,
maybe they don't even like the band or something, or not that much, you know.
Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of the appeal of something like Record Store Day, you know, which is like that you're getting these things that are exclusive to this day or, you know, for this event, and it makes it much more valuable than just, you know, streaming the song online.
That's the value of our album. Is it's like you
Yeah.
can get it for free, but if you want to have this like piece of time or whatever, like there it is. But
Yeah.
That's really
And that's what I think I love about records specifically is that you know, you can't skip. You know, you can't like. I mean, you can. You know, but you got to move the needle. It's a pain in the ass. But it's like you really have to listen to a record. You know, at least one side of it from beginning to end. So you hear, you know, the album the way it was intended in the order that it was intended. It's not being shuffled through, or you're not skipping around to get your favorite songs. And I think there's something valuable in that.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it depends on the record, I'd say, but for the most part, yeah. And I think 9 out of 10 bands that I'm listening to are very intentionally thinking about the order of stuff they're doing. So
Oh, I'm
it's part
super
of it.
big on album order. Like I'm all
Yeah.
about like, you know, the single's got to be song 2 or song 3, you know? Like it's got to flow in a certain way. you
Yeah, it
know?
was interesting this time with this one because this album is not like conceptualized or like really cohesive at all. It was supposed to be done really fast and put out because we were just like we just need to put out something and then move on with like another project.
Yeah.
And instead it took forever. But it's just like that's why the album name is just kind of like a joke, is because it's like just
You just want it out.
we had all these songs where like I like all these songs, I want to put them out, but like they don't fit into an album or anything. So we just compiled 8 that we were like, these are cool. And then we're like, yeah, what are we gonna name it? What about Elias is a nice guy? Okay. That was it.
Not a lot of debate.
I mean, that sort of stuff's normally just Connor and I, and then we just kind of tell them and they just kind of say, okay. I mean, like, I don't think I asked anybody if it was going to be named that. I think I just told you.
You
Sam, is that
just
true?
Decided.
It's whatever.
I don't remember asking. If I might have asked y'all, but I don't think I did.
I don't know. Most of the songs were so old at the point, like to where we were recording and stuff, that didn't really care too much.
Now, where did you
like-
guys record? Because I think I read on your Bandcamp that it was like in living rooms and bedrooms.
It was like some at my old house, and then like a
Rip
lot.
Terminus.
Yeah,
Rip Terminus.
and then some like probably the pool house and like Stratton's house and Connor's house and
My parents' house. Connor's
Parents'
parents'
house.
house.
So a lot of bedrooms and a lot of living
Yeah,
rooms.
it took way too long. It took way too long.
When did you start recording it?
Like, I can't remember if we started in like December 2015 or like maybe like October or something like that. But
Okay.
it took way too long because we kept losing tracks.
Oh.
They would delete themselves or they'd get corrupted, or someone would record something and they'd be like, this is good. And then I'd listen back and be like, this is not good.
Yeah.
We need to do this again. So we We tracked the drums to I Love Heroin probably like 15 times, and they were like usable tracks, but it just kept getting deleted because we were using this like old, dying. It's not even a tape recorder; it's like a digital mixer, and it would just delete everything.
That sounds horrible.
It was pretty awful. We only used that for drums so we could have more like mics, but it just kept the drums just took forever because it kept taking tracks and just deleting them.
I love like the DIY vibe and this. I love the fact that you recorded it on a digital mixer.
Yeah, I mean, as much as people love DIY, I wouldn't be opposed to not going the DIY route. DIY is cool, and I respect people who do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed to not doing a DIY record for once. That's why we're going to Philly, is to not do a DIY record for once.
So yeah,
DIY out of necessity, right?
you're right.
Yeah, not for us. It's not like a DIY or die. We're definitely not. I like DIY stuff. Tim's probably more into DIY than me, but
Die.
yeah, like DIY shows are cool, but
Yeah.
and DIY records can be cool. There's a place for it, but I think there's also a place for like
A well-produced.
just like really
Yeah.
good sounding record.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what's on the horizon. Then you're going to Philly, track a new record.
Yeah, we're gonna instead of taking 2 years this time, we're gonna wait like what is it, not even a month to go record the next one because it'll be done by the time we leave. So
Smart.
the whole thing will be done in 3 days, and then it's just kind of however long it takes us to put it out, which could be forever.
No, yes, it'll probably be forever.
Yeah, we don't. It takes us a long time to get things done. Like we just run into a lot of issues we don't foresee, and then we don't know how to like get past it, and we kind of like, yeah, we should deal with this. Not going.
You'd
to.
rather not.
Yeah, I'd rather not deal with this, and then it ends up just me having like 18 things I need to get done in like a week, and I'm like, Dylan, I need you to do these shirts by this time. Dylan's like, I got this paper. I'm like, Dylan, I will throw in a Taco Bell meal if you will do this. And he's like, fine.
Yeah, really.
Fine, I'll do it. And then I'm like, Connor, I need you to send me the lyrics to these songs because we got to get it to Stanley for this and that. Like, it's been
It's just chaos.
never do it the right way. We never do.
But this time it seems like your intention is to do it the right way. I mean, you're gonna have the record done,
Hopefully.
by the time you leave Philly, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then come back here, and it sounds like you'll start working on the release. Yeah.
I plan all this stuff and then it doesn't work. Like Eliza's a Nice Guy was like the 6th or 7th release that we were going to do, and it's just the one that actually happened.
Yeah.
And then we went through like 4 or 5 other albums we were going to make next until we got to the one we are now. Like we just start categorizing stuff and recategorizing.
Yeah.
And Connor and I just sit there and like remake track lists, and then someone will write a new song and we add that to one of the track lists, and then it just, the thing is when there's no deadlines, you can just do that forever.
Yeah.
And
at some point you have to. It's like, you never finish an album. You just stop working on it.
Right. So like we have hundreds of songs in demo form that probably, I think we're just going to scrap all of them and just start over. Because like we're just like, this is too much. Like I don't know what to do with all this.
Yeah.
I don't, like the next album's way different than the stuff we've done in the past. So.
And how long are you going to be recording in Philly?
3 days. We have 3 days to track 12 songs live.
Wow.
And one of those days is mixing. Everyone that's done a lot of recording has told us that is a lot to do.
Yeah.
But you guys are also practicing 14 hours.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Tim is not going with us because he has to work. So our friend Gianni is filling in, but that means he had to learn the whole thing in like a month.
Oh man.
And we weren't technically done writing it either.
But you're done writing it now, so it's written, ready to go.
There's one song that we're having trouble
That
with.
one song.
Just one, yeah.
There's
And all
always
the rest
that
of them
one
are
song.
done. I haven't heard the vocals yet on it. Connor and Danny, it's the first time both of them are singing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what they're singing on most of the songs. They're supposed to be doing demos at some point this week, I think.
Wow.
So I've been told.
So the new Poster album is a mystery.
It's a mystery even to his members.
It's a mystery even to Poster.
Yeah, it's like I said, we're not organized. we don't do.
It's whatever.
Die.
Yeah.